Good morning, guys. Jarrod Michelle.
Lyndon Bradford.
Sales as a profession. Let me just type in the topic. Cold calling. The main thing. So, this is a particular topic I think a lot of persons were asking us on. Jamie, good morning. How are you? I hope all is well. Wrong. I know all is well.
What's up, Jamie?
I know all is well. So let's go talking. Just going live on the Facebook page, guys. So just give us a second.
While Jarrod is doing that, we just indicate. So what we've been looking at is apart from just talking in general terms for sales information, today we decided to look at how we look at certain things in relation to techniques. And one of the biggest fears that salespeople have is really in making the cold call, because the cold call to some is a real dark point, is a real sore area, because of course there's a lot of fear because of they're not familiar. So I think you were asking three particular questions yesterday in relation to the cold call.
The first thing is, why do sales professionals hate cold calling?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the professionals we speak to, and they tell them about doing cold calls, they hate it.
Yeah,
so I think an important thing is to define, in essence, what I view as cold calling right now in 2019.
All right.
Which,
Sorry, just before we go into the definition, also sales professionals more than likely will do everything else except a cold call.
Yep.
Right? They will go out and they will canvas. They might use the social media. There's no knock on you, Jamie, because it's working for you. Right?
But isn't canvassing a type of cold calling? Okay, going into a business without knowing anything.
Some people can canvas just to look and take information down.
Right.
Where others would actually canvas and then go in.
Oh, yeah, correct. Okay.
Yeah? So some people might just drive around, take the information down, then try to make the call, or then send the email, or then try to figure out some other way of contact.
Correct. Good morning, Curtis.
Yeah. However, when it comes to the actual cold call, in terms of picking up the phone and knowing what to say, that is where the main hindrance is. So, going into the definition of the cold call, you want to take a shot at it, or you want to go with it first?
For me, I view the definition of cold calling as reaching out to a prospective client or customer with the objective and purpose of getting a meeting, of securing a meeting. Now, I know there are persons who will be in telesales and they'll be like, no, my objective is to sell on the phone.
That's correct.
So we will take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But so both of those are actually correct in my opinion. How we looking at it this morning is the purpose of actually securing the meeting,
and that's correct, right? So one of the things that Jarrod and I like to talk about and teach is that the purpose of the cold call is really to identify you're fine-tuning the opportunity a little bit and you're trying your best to get the meeting.
Yes.
Now, a couple of things with that. I will go off and say one of the first things that I think sales professionals do not do very well is enough research in relation as to who they're actually calling.
So you think that's why so many of them are hesitant?
I think it's a start to why they're very hesitant. I'll go into why I think that they're not very comfortable at it, because of course they don't practice. So we're going to practice part later.
Correct.
Right?
So I agree with you. Lack of preparation, I think, is the biggest reason why sales professionals don't like cold calling.
Correct. And guys, while we're talking about it, especially for the sales profession, and as a matter of fact, this is not sales professionals alone thing. This is entrepreneurs, everybody. Because I know that there are a lot of us who are in our own businesses, and we all have something to sell.
Yes.
Right? We all have something to sell, even
Which
if it's
means
ourselves.
you have to reach out to somebody.
You have to reach out to somebody. You understand?
Right.
You're not going to know everybody. Not everybody's going to be able to give you a referral or introduction. You have to, even when it comes to making the introduction, I have to call you to say, Jarrod, I want to get an introduction into this. Right? So the essence of the call is really to a couple of things for me that I try to make sure, and I teach the teams. Identify who is it they need to be calling first, right? Identify what their roles and responsibilities are.
Yes.
And then from there, you're trying your best to get the meeting.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
However, what are some of the things you think that we need to be saying? Because I know that a lot of times is the fumbling and bumbling around.
Yeah.
When it is that we're actually making the call.
So, and as we talk about the main thing, just based on how I had it in my mind, your main reason why you don't want to do the cold call is that you're not prepared. 100% that's it. Because you can say I suck at it and I'm bad at it, but literally, I will put my head on the block and say the main reason is that you haven't been prepared. You haven't done any research on the customer. You know nothing about the person on the next line.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'll tell you is that if today in 2019 your practicing sales is to pick up the phone and blindly call, you need to stop.
You need to stop it.
Stop it immediately.
Can I
And
just
if-
give one example of
Yeah.
research? One quick example of research, and I'll give it back to Jarrod, is this. There is a sales representative that I'm working with right now. She doesn't have an idea as to what's happening in her customer's account. In the account that she's working with, she has the customer set up for banking, and the
Right.
customer left the banking industry a long time ago. The customer is now in education.
See,
So
see.
when she sent me the pipeline, I'm looking through the pipeline last night. I'm saying this person's not in banking. So you know what's going to happen? She's going to call. She's going to say the wrong thing. She's going to get blanked, and then check out
Correct.
making cold calls.
So the reason why I believe the research is important, because that's what we focus on. Another thing as a key thing
Yes.
is that the research allows you to create context for the call, because that's what a lot of persons are doing. You're just picking up the phone, you're calling blindly, and then you're stumbling.
Yeah.
The next challenge I realize a lot of sales professionals don't have is that you have zero script.
That's correct.
A lot of persons go against this, but here's the reason why for a script. A script is not to go word for word. A script is a guide.
It's a guide,
It
yeah.
is a guide to let you know this is what these are some of the things I should be saying during this type of conversation with
That's
a customer.
correct.
That is 100% what it is.
Yeah.
And if it is that you as a professional have all these things prepared, you feel a lot more comfortable. If I know I'm calling Lyndon Bradford, who's a sales consultant, or whichever role, he's the owner of a company, and X and Y, and I have little details. More importantly, if you research and you find out you genuinely have something in common, that gets you excited
That gets
for the
excited.
call.
Exactly.
I'm sure our buddy Adrian does a lot of riding. So imagine if you meet a CEO who does riding, immediately you have something to kick off.
You have context
Right?
to build on.
Yeah, Jamie, imagine if you actually have the same vehicle as somebody. Simple things help you make a difference.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of persons, when I give them examples, and you know it, I go to extreme lengths of how I do my research.
Yes.
So I get real details on you. I will get as much details as I need because I look at the context. And I think that's why as sales professionals, you always have that hesitance on it, because you don't have any information at all. And that's where something you should step against. And I think what they should also do too as well, and this is what I'll talk about the stage. Cold calling is broken up as this to me. You need to spend time researching before you make the call. So that is actually part of your cold calling activity. You need to also set a target.
Yes.
So when it is you're making 10 calls, 15 calls, 100 calls,
That's
doesn't
correct.
matter. You need to set a target. Then I think what a lot of sales professionals get confused with, and I think what a lot of companies mislead their teams with, is that they say make 100 calls. Making 100 calls is the wrong word. You need to make 100 dials.
Correct.
Dials. I need to dial 100 people. Then
Correct.
it's broken down to how much people I got in contact with, how much people I got voicemail from, how much people hung up the phone on me, how much people weren't interested at the point in
That's
time. There are
correct.
different things, how much people actually had a conversation with, how much people did let me to actually get a meeting appointment.
And to give additional context to that, now you guys may not follow this guy, but there's a colleague of ours from out of Miami, Copy Cowboy.
Yeah,
He teaches his team in relation as to how to do outbound calls, right? And he had a new rep that was doing a certain amount of dials, and they only got 2 appointments. But that was a celebration for them because that's exactly what you're looking for.
yep.
You understand? So they got 2 appointments for the next day. So it was at least something, because the activity of making the call was there. So when you finish, I want to
You're talking about that Friday, right? Something with activity.
We were talking
talking
about
about
that
that Friday.
with the client that we
Yeah,
met on.
because
Yeah.
Friday we kept talking about the clients, and this is something important with your cold calling. You need to measure your activity. So if you have a CRM, fantastic. If you don't have a CRM, you need to really take your time and log what's happening in the activity, because what's important is that you need to understand what did I say with this call that worked
That's
compared to
correct.
this call that didn't work, right? And then there's so many other factors to consider. Yeah.
No, I was just saying that let's go back into the script in terms of what works and what doesn't work. So let me
Right.
break it down. Now, cold calling is one of the areas that I like to teach on a lot, because I learned cold calling the hardcore way, coming straight out of
No,
automotive
let's go back to
sales.
that. Yeah, because for y'all who are here 5 years in sales, y'all don't know nothing. I'm sorry, I'm not saying anything against you. You don't know shit, right? We came from the days where you pull out.
You pull out your phone
The best
book.
thing for the
Yeah.
year was when B-Mobile released a new phone book, and you
Yeah.
get the phone book, and you make calls, because people had no information
Yeah,
online.
yeah, that's correct.
You all have way more information now. Some people say they don't like cold calling. I roll my eyes because I'm like,
what?
no.
Yeah.
You
So
have
now,
real information.
so now for us, so as Jarrod was talking about the script, picture your script like this. If we had to put it in terms of another analogy, your script is your training wheels on a bicycle.
Yep.
It gets you to the point where you're familiar enough that you can take it off, because what's going to happen to you mentally is that you're going to consistently keep thinking of ways to adjust your script to the person that you're talking to, similar to what Jarrod was just talking about. Now,
Yep.
a couple of things that you must have within your script. You must have apart from doing all the research, and you must have a solid introduction. The introduction will be just identify who you are, where you're calling from, the purpose of the call, and then of course you want to try to block off a couple. So it's almost like a beginning, a middle, and an end in relation to how you're writing a story.
Yeah.
Right. So you're doing it as hi, I'm Linda Bradford calling from sales as a profession. The reason why I'm actually giving you this call today is because we're doing X, or we help companies in this particular area, and we can help them grow their business through sales techniques, teaching sales techniques.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Right. And would you be the best person to have this discussion with? If yes, when do you think that we can actually meet to further the discussion? If no, who would be the best person? Now, the reason why I like to do it like that for me personally, I try not to give them the opportunity to back out to say, nah, I'm not interested.
Right.
So notice when you're doing it, and there are ways to always keep things open-ended, right? Just like in your whole questioning. Are you the best person? Yes. Great. Do you think that we can have a discussion on this? And what I also try to do is I try to tie some times in. So remember we're talking about gaining the meeting. So I like to put at least 2 dates in there that we can choose. And I choose one date that is close and another date that's maybe a week away from now. Why would I like to do that? Because most people sometimes, they may try to tell you, well, tomorrow may not be the best time, or later this week may not be the best time. Okay, great. Because I understand that you're busy. How would next week?
So if you're cold calling on Friday, have times book out for next week.
Exactly.
So one rule I would give for anybody who's in any kind of cold calling, a full stop rule, hands down. Do not start your call with, hi, good day, this is Jarrod calling from some companies. Is this a good time? No. Don't say that, because you give any person an option to say
no, it's not a good time.
So they'll hang up the phone on you. Do not give them an opportunity. Literally just start off by saying, hey, hi, Jarrod calling from sales as a profession. I just want to actually talk, the purpose of my call is to actually talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. It takes about 3 minutes. Is this something something you can do now?
Yeah. And that's
I reckon to the point.
Yeah. No, I know, sorry, I know that a lot of the times too, again, this is from me when I'm teaching, and because you're not familiar, because you might see cold calling as being pushy, I have a lot of reps that may ask you can say that?
Yes.
Yeah, you can say it.
Actually, you know the best? I will tell people this example. My favorite person, for everybody who want to learn cold calling, go to Grant Cardone's page and search Grant Cardone cold calling. Remember, I was telling you about my favorite part, which was...
And the guy said he couldn't he didn't have the time or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, hey, hi, calling from Grant Cardone University to talk to you about something. And he's like, no, it's not a good time. He said, yeah, but notice you pick up the phone. And that just, up to now, every time I say it just blows my mind.
If you didn't have the time, then you
won't pick up the phone.
Would not have picked up the phone.
Because they don't have your number. So every person in call doesn't have your number and they pick it up. They clearly had time.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is just literally and get specific with it. I just want to talk to you for 3 minutes so I can book the time. That's it. Don't get into anything more complicated.
Yeah, don't go into too much more of the details.
I remember I got a cold call from an insurance company. A rep from there. And I got lost within the first 15 seconds. You know why?
Why?
It was the most long-winded introduction ever. Mm-hmm. It's like, hi, good day. My name is Jarrod Besswichel. I'm an insurance financial advisor with the McCall branch from the so-and-so agency of this and this unit in St. Augustine. What?
Yeah.
Why?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Why?
That's way too much.
Why?
That's way too much. You have to be succinct, because remember, I mean, and just look at it from your standpoint, guys. So look at if somebody cold calls you about services that they want to provide that you initially may not have an interest in, right? So they're prospecting you. You may be a bad prospect, or you may be a good prospect. But at the end of the day, just look at how you would respond, and then now try to replicate that as to when you are calling a customer. So you need to be succinct. I had a similar experience to it. An agent that actually called me but did no research. And I mean, I know we spoke about research from before, but she was asking me, well, what business are you in again? I was like, but where did you get my information from? You understand?
So can we say as for anybody who's taking on notes, and we will take this as we know we usually do a summary video at the end. Research is your most important thing. I would say that's a key pillar. If you have to look at a pillar, research.
That's like carbohydrates.
It's research. It's water.
Yeah. You need
like
that.
you literally need to put that in place. So that's just one of my issues that I have with it. A point I was gonna give before, but I think something else to mention to you two guys, which is important when you're doing cold calling. Be okay with rejection. They're gonna tell you no. You're gonna get no, because the time of day might have call was bad. Something you did was bad. You might not have the good thing. It's gonna happen. Can I say a weird thing that I do?
Sure.
And people said it's been proven. I can't give any stats, but for me it works. Smile when you call.
When you call,
Be in a comfortable environment when you call.
Yep.
Right? Like those two simple things give such a big difference in terms of
be in a quiet place when you call. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
I know I sometimes for me, again, teaching cold calling over the last couple of weeks, one of the things I had a problem with in the client's office is that everybody's talking, and a lot of the time they're talking shit.
Right.
It's just a lot of noise. So what we've had to do is find a different place to go and actually make those calls, because it's clearer. You get to hear the customer is not going to hear anything in the background, the phones are not going to be ringing, the fax machine is not going to be making noise.
Yep.
And then of course your colleagues are just going to be talking, because sometimes they're just talking trash.
Yeah, it's just normal office talk.
So at the end of the day, you need to find a quiet place. You need to have specific times blocked off.
Yep.
In relation as to when you're actually going to make that call, and don't try to kill yourself by doing all the calls for the whole day. I mean, this is one thing I definitely agree with Jeb Blunt,
Yeah.
who does a lot on cold calling and prospecting, where he says you can break up, you can do, let's say, 3 hours, right? But you can do it morning, noon, and afternoon in relation as to how you want to do your calls. Right? Because trying to say I'm going to spend the whole morning just doing cold calls, you're going to exhaust yourself. You're going to get, that's going to kill you more than just doing that particular hour.
How much time do you think you should dedicate to cold calling?
When you say time overall, or just time within blocks?
Within blocks, because I believe a block of time. Like I'll tell you personally, for me, I would do 2 hours.
Yeah, for me it's an hour, but I do it at least 2 to 3 times a day.
And by the way, guys, for everybody who's on this morning, for example, Jamie, Network and Daryl Sky, Curtis, Mika Boo, Pixar, Photo Booth, Cassie. If you have any questions related to the topic, I mean, feel free to ask us, because I know Marawada was saying less distractions. Curtis was laughing, and Curtis said I dress to the call, I get into character. That's important, because if you're home, you want to make sure I'm being in the proper frame of mind.
That is really, I can't remember the guy's name, but I was looking at something on LinkedIn. A Chinese guy, a billionaire, he's always talking about business. And Dan Look, right? Yeah. And he actually spoke about that in one of his videos. Like, you sometimes have to dress the part, because your dress builds your confidence. It puts you sometimes in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
So
if you're home and you sit down in a boxers and a vest.
Yeah, you're ready to sleep. Linda Bradford calling from. No, you have to have the energy, because it really builds you sometimes.
Yeah.
In terms of making the call.
So one important thing, as I mentioned to the cold calling, is that I know we spoke about it in some of our episodes, which would have been with Adrian, was about some of the best times to do cold calling. Because do you think there is a good time to do cold calling, or it just matters in terms of just being prepared?
Well, how should I say? I think it's a matter of being prepared. For me, maybe because seasoned anything, I have made cold calls. This is up to last week. I made cold calls 5 in the evening. You understand?
And they get through.
I got through. Because you know what? It's things that I learned is the least busiest time for somebody to get through to somebody.
Yeah. Or you sometimes call 7:30 in the morning.
Or you call very early in the morning, or you call just before lunch or just after lunch. You understand? So the more you see that's the thing too, the more that you practice, the more that you consistently make calls, you get to realize that they're based upon sometimes the level of the person. You get to understand what that group of people's availability is. If you call it CEOs, you call it business unit heads, you call it anybody who's, let's say, being a lot of meetings sometimes, you would know. And there's nothing wrong by asking, let's say, the assistant or the gatekeeper, when you're making that call, how often they actually go to meetings, or what meeting is it that they normally have frequently, because I'll know what time not to call, because I really want to get through to this person, right? So there are a number of things that you need to keep in your head but you see, it's a matter of continuous assessment. You're assessing yourself because you want to make sure that you get better at making those calls. Here's a really, really, really important thing. It will always go back. It's a big staple for me.
Right.
And that's where the leadership and the practice is concerned. Now, one of the things I like to teach is how do you deal with the responses. So if the person said, you're making the call and you say, well, I don't have need for your services right now.
Right.
Or we have another vendor already, or what's another one? Or we had a bad experience with you guys, or you understand? You're gonna get those things, and those things can shut you down.
But the thing is, that's the importance of a script.
That is the
so I
importance
know one of
a
the
script.
companies I know a company right now is gonna be deploying one of their sales teams, and what got me frightened was that I asked them a question saying, you're gonna run into a lot of people saying, I don't want nothing to do with you because of the company nature. They'll say I don't like all you. Did you all focus on that? It's like, we kind of touched base on some rejection tips, and I got panicky because I'm like, that's a big part of that company's business.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a thing of how to deal with the rejection, and we could share, like for me, I always say, again, it boils down to understanding the no.
Yeah.
And I think what happens now with a lot of sales professionals is that they're afraid to ask the reason because they're afraid for more rejection.
More rejection,
but
yeah.
if you're already getting rejected in the first place, just continue asking.
Yeah.
It will sound bad. If the customer hangs up the phone, you don't lose anything because they told you no in the first place.
You had nothing in the first place. And you see, sometimes again, because of our experiences, I mean, for Jarrod and I, we may make it sound easy, and we know it's not easy.
No.
Listen, I had a real trial by fire. You know, one of the companies that I worked with had a really, really poor customer service history. So even while I was doing presentations, we had people who would bust into the presentation and rebuttal every single thing that we spoke about.
Yeah,
but
all
at
the
the end of
service
the
levels,
day,
everything, yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to know how to deal with those things. So especially when it comes to things like your cold calls, sitting down within your meeting, just sometimes designating, and this is for the sales leaders now, this is sometimes designating, you're changing your sales meeting from talking numbers to talking techniques. Develops a coaching culture, a practice culture. So you can say, okay guys, when you're making calls, what are some of the things that customers say to you all? They're not interested at this time or have a vendor ready. And you all rewrite, okay, well, how do we respond to that?
Yeah, you're not interested
how
at this
do
time.
we collectively as a team respond to that? And you know what's going to happen? And this is one of the things I love when it comes to developing teams, is that you tend to realize that everybody from the team now starts saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's not because everybody's now coached a particular way.
And it's the same cadence throughout the whole organization.
Same cadence throughout the
so
entire
let me give a simple tip. So like a customer, and this might be more on B2B level, the customer will say we're not interested at this time. He say, great, I definitely understand and thanks for the feedback. However, would you be willing to share to me when is your contract finishing? Because we've actually been able to win more accounts, and they've been open to the customer. We've actually won more accounts by starting the process 6 to 9 months in advance, because we understand and we actually able to deliver detailed solutions, which what makes us win business. So you have
Sorry, no, you go. So you have what?
No, so you have a response in terms of when the customer says we're not ready, we're not looking at anybody at this point in time.
Right. And what Jarrod just said there is that they're not looking at anybody at that point in time. There's a qualification of a customer.
Something we always say, which is, remember, there's a simple tip. If it is that you call a customer and they say we already have somebody, they have budget, they're qualified.
So you'd have to find out if they're a good prospect. They're already taking these services.
Exactly.
So what I try to do sometimes with that is that part of the script, I try to get the reps to understand it. Now you can ask the customer, you know, that's really excellent that I have those particular services, and you can even give a little plug as to what the services, how they can actually be benefiting from these services. And then you can try to ask them, what are some of the best things that you're experiencing right now in relation from your provider? And if you had to change one thing, what would that be? Now listen to it. If you had to change one thing, now we're talking about change, what would that be? And sometimes they may say, well, maybe the response time. And I'm saying this because I actually did it for a client, and the person said, we would have liked to have a faster response time, even though they were happy with the service.
They would like a faster response time.
They would have liked a faster response time from the current service provider. What does that
But I
mean?
mean, to get them in a conversation, you get opening.
So that's insight in relation as to one thing that you can work on to improve to beat your competitor. And that's where you pitch. You understand? So your cold call again is to really do your research, have your script, put on your training wheels, practice it a lot. But really and truly, the more that you do it, those responses, and that's what helps build your confidence. Jarrod would hear me saying within the last couple of weeks that a lot of what we do, we're really teaching people to be a little bit more confident in what they do. Because the better that you guys get at this, the less you all would need us, or you all need us at this particular stage.
Yeah.
But if you can't break into the accounts this early, especially by doing calls, you're not going to get the ability to do the close.
Yeah. So hands down,
really,
you have
really
to put some of these things into play, like today. So what we'll do, how much time are we on so far? No, we're still good on time.
Yep.
So one thing I actually wanted to talk about now as we wrap up, as we get into the close, is that the types of communication available. So for example, for Lyndon and myself, we only had phone primarily.
Yeah, that's correct.
Email at most, but we majority
Green
had
screen
phone.
grey rubber dial. That's what I started off with.
So what you need to understand now is that if it is that you have, and I have it written here, phone, text message, email, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Well,
Just some Skype.
You have Skype, yeah.
Right? Because on the customer's page, remember, you would see all the different types of communication that they can access them on.
That's correct.
One of the things that I like to do, which I used to do back when I used to cold call, if I call in someone and it's important, I draft a text message first of exactly what I want to tell them.
Yep.
So if it is that I don't get onto them, immediately they see a text message pop up
That's
right
going up
after.
right after.
Especially if the customer rejects the call,
Yeah.
you can immediately send a text.
Yep.
And that would show the end customer, because from the time you see a text coming as you finish your call, that gives you a high opportunity of the person looking at it.
Yeah, they will
So-
see it, and you may have some people that don't listen to voicemail. No, I know some people who do listen to voicemail messages still. That's why sometimes I leave them. But of course, you also have people who don't listen to voicemail messages.
Yeah.
So again, you're just sharing, you're just filtering the ways that you can get in contact with the person that you believe that you need to speak with.
Yeah. Now, do you think, and because we were saying now, because you have scripts now, the scripts help you benefit in terms of how you reach across people on all these medias?
All the medias.
Because now you have a script, you could actually customize it. You could customize it to the person, but you essentially have a template that allows you to build out a full conversation with the person in terms of what you do, what you want to get from them, and a call to action.
Yeah.
Could actually be a 3 types of messages in terms of whether it's a cold call, email, a text message, or WhatsApp, a direct message to their inbox. That is what they should actually have a script tied in and built in for.
And remember, your script helps you start wide, and then you narrow down.
Yeah.
That question of asking, are you the right person? If yes, when could we meet? If no, who is the next best person? That is really, really, really important that you have that you put that in there. Somebody sent out.
Yeah, so my boy Dion is saying he hates when persons send him product or sales services via WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, because to me, you have to do introduction first.
Yeah.
There must be some kind of warm up. Don't just pitch to the person. Again, what you should literally do is just state your purpose. Like, hey Dion, I actually just wanted to talk to you about X product. I don't know if it's possible to get this amount of your time at this particular date.
Right.
It should always be real specific and narrowed down. It shouldn't be anything of, hey, I'm selling X and Y service, it's $23 a month.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
And now keeping this in mind that we know that yes, as much as we're talking cold call and we're giving any techniques, I think Jarrod made a good point there in terms of talking about all the other forms of communication, because we know that there are some people who are still not going to be very good at it.
Yeah.
Right? But you still have different ways. So one of the things that I like to do is develop, and you don't have to have an email script and a cold call script. Your email and your cold call, your email and your script supposed it should actually be the same thing. So if you're reading the email, or if you're looking at the
Slightly adjusted, but the same.
Slightly adjusted, but the same. But because the context of what it is that you want to say and what it is you want to get out of it is important. So again, beginning, so you have your intro, the reason, and what your call to action is, because you want to be able to get them to meet with you.
Not only that, the person must understand what's the purpose of the message. What do you want me to do with this message? Delete it? No. You want me to respond?
You know what has actually worked for me a lot?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't get on to, and this is another thing too, right, guys? You may never get on to the person you're trying to get onto initially, right? So it takes me sometimes 3 or 4 calls to actually get onto the person, sometimes based upon who I'm calling. However, because I send the email and I refer to now, I would have sent you an email on this date.
Or send you a message or a text or WhatsApp
what I've
or
had
anything.
people do is that they say, okay, you send me an email, and they're actually looking through the email. So what I'm telling them, so I'm looking at the email and repeating it as a script for me.
Yep.
They're actually not searching through. And then they say, oh, okay, I found it. You understand? So while I'm talking to them, telling them the whole thing out of the script, and then they found the email, then they say, you know what? Next week or the week after.
And then the reason why I think you shouldn't be hesitant on cold calling now is because they have so many different ways to communicate with customers.
That's
now.
correct. Yeah.
Because the reason why I think it was hesitant for everybody in the past is that the only method was literally face-to-face or on the phone.
Or on the phone.
Now, you could message, which I think a lot of people are more comfortable with.
Yeah.
You could use your voice, because you know I'm big on voice. So if you're in people's direct messages, use voice over using actual message. Because if it's tied into a script and the customer just asks you to repeat anything, you can just literally copy and paste and put the message in. That's just me.
Oh, here's another one, and you can tell me if you agree with us or not. So, as we know, the energy conference just finished last week, right?
Right.
So I'm just trying to find different strategies to help the reps go in to the account, but instead of just doing it from the standpoint of a cold call to say, hey, this is what we're trying to do, yada yada yada, they can actually start the call. So if you have clients that were just part of the energy conference, you can actually start the call by complimenting them on a successful display. You know, say even if it didn't have
for your conversation.
it's all exactly, and then you can build it in to say, you know what, we've also been able to help companies like yours, but you started it off by showing a level of interest and research into the business that they've actually been doing. Right? So again, there are many different ways that you can start a conversation, but it's really and truly important. Just look at it like this. What if you were walking on the street and a random person comes and tells you something about something that you recently did or you recently accomplished, and they commented you on it, and then they said, here's one additional tip I have to give you. Wouldn't you, you'd be like, How is it?
Let me
But
pique my interest.
your guard will drop. You understand? Your guard will drop.
Because it's
and
directly
you will
customized to you.
Exactly. So you will listen a little bit more. And then they would have gotten your attention. Now remember, in everything, especially in sales, even though people now lean it a lot towards more on marketing, there's always awareness, interest, desire, and action, right? And if somebody has a way of gaining your interest based upon how you make that call, it's really, really, you're going to buy and you're going to give them a lot more time to listen. And within your first 8 to 15 seconds, once you listen more than that, you're inside.
So that is why it's important. And like when we visited some of the companies last week too, it was just to actually tell them like different techniques. Tell the customer something they don't know. So if you're doing a cold call on the independently line of business, especially if you're talking to a CEO or somebody on the high level, it's literally start a conversation with what your company helps people with in that industry that they are in.
That's correct.
So literally you can just say, hey, hi, Mr. Ex-customer, my name is Jarrod from this and Y company. We've been able to help us in your industry reduce or improve or be able to maximize on this aspect of their business by this percentage over this period of time. My purpose for this call is to actually talk to you about some of those things. Is it possible to get some of your time between X and Y at this particular time?
And that's it.
That is it.
Oh,
Here's a big tip of cold calling. If you have a great introduction, shut your mouth right after.
Yep.
Just shut up. Let the person say something after.
Yeah.
And it always goes to you. When they speak, you win.
Yeah, that's important. Because you would have said what you had to say and you stop.
Correct. Because sales like to talk so much, we always like go on and say more stuff that we need to, but no.
And you oversell yourself.
Once you say that intro.
Maybe the next thing that we should do is email, because I'm not sure if I shared with you last year or earlier this year.
Right.
Somebody from the UK sent me an email.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the email, what I did is I pulled the email out, I copied and pasted the email into a Word document, and it was 3 pages long.
I saw it. It was painful.
When I responded to him, I responded in 2 sentences alone. He gave me back a page, and he gave me back a half a page in a response.
So this is a case of where a company has a script and the person is just using the whole script. Whatever scenario, just the whole script. It's horrible.
Yeah, it was way too long, and it wasn't succinct. And again, you know what it was? It was a real copy and paste. I'll give you another one too, and I'll maybe share this one this week in one of these stories. I keep getting. And this is really important too, that you shouldn't just be using a standard template. Do the research to understand who you're talking to. I have people telling me about my website. My website is under construction. So I have people sending me emails, hey, we looked over your website and your website is really good. And here's 2 things that we think that you can do with your website. I sent it to Jarrod and I said, but Jarrod, if you look at my website, if you type in my website, it's under construction. So there's no website. But again, you are using a template.
You're not taking the and here's how I'll end it too, because I'll make sure I put this point down. Let's get the pen, right? If you want your customers' money, have the respect and do the research to earn the business. That's just me. If you want your customers' money, have the respect to do the research to earn their business.
Yeah, you put in the time.
Let's do the hours. No, let's change this to hours. If you respect your customer, do the research to get the revenue.
That's correct.
It's so disrespectful to do people that, because especially if you work hard to build your business and the person don't care.
Respect, research, revenue.
Yeah. So that is it. So I know we have quite a few people. Just see on the caterers join. We have Beef for Life. We have a meal join. So guys, if you have any questions, let us know, because I know we're gonna wrap up. What you're gonna see, of course, as you notice, new logo, new things happening. The sales conference is happening in June. Look out for details on that. I want to big up Rashidi, who's the first person who actually signed up for the emails to get updates on it. But they're gonna see within the month of February who the sponsors are, because we're reaching out to them, who are some of the speakers, because we have 3 confirmed so far, right?
That's correct.
Right? 4 confirmed so far, and we have a lot of activities. The next Seasons of Profession, which is in April, which leads up to the conference, is going to be an interesting one. So you want everybody to be tuned in for that. It's going to be quite different in terms of how we're doing stuff. But again, just to touch base on it, the Seasons of Profession conference is literally where it's an expansion of what we're doing here and an expansion of the mixers.
That's correct.
So, yeah.
Yes, and the goal behind that, as we said before, is to really share a lot more detail. But the good thing in terms of sales and how to win particular sales and improve your technique throughout your sales pipeline.
Yeah.
And one thing that we've always wanted to do is get the best from out of our national expertise. So we're going to be pulling as many people.
Local.
Yeah, we're going to be pulling as many local experts in different areas, in different industries that are top of the line in their sales industries.
Yep.
To come and talk to not us, but come and talk to you all, the entire audience, as to what they would have done and what are some of their tips and win. Because at the end of the day, Jarrod and I would have worked in many different industries. The one common denominator there is sales. All we have to do is tweak the techniques. The process doesn't change much.
Yeah.
And the better that you get going along the line is, for me, as far as I'm concerned, working in a different industries just made me stronger. And that's why we feel that you can get different areas of expertise coming in to talk about, as to how to go about prospecting better, how to implement better solutions, how to do better follow-ups, because you have different stages that are stronger in different industries. All right, so that's what has us excited the most about this conference.
Very excited. So look out for more details on that. Keep tuning into the channel. Follow us because we have a couple more surprises as we keep pushing hard on this, because it's coming up on June 18th, and we look forward to meeting everybody. So if you have any questions, feel free to message us. But you know the usual, Lyndon and I are always available for discussions. My price is coffee, his is water. It's very affordable, but we just love to talk sales. Alright? So as we review everything, here's the three main things. Do your research. Know who you're going to talk to. Have a statement message. Respect,
build
research,
practice.
Have a script. Yep.
Those things help you get better in terms of what you do. It builds your confidence. Practice with your team. Make it hard. You try to get an appointment from your team member and make the team member be a real ass in terms of not getting. Let them bring up all the objections and you just work on getting it done. That's where you get better.
And do that daily.
Do that as often as possible. Daily.
You don't just spend a whole hour practicing. 5-10 minutes a day with one specific technique will get you better in cold calling. Just talking an introduction alone.
Yeah, as a team or as a group, as a peer, you all put together little tasks for yourself, little goals. Hey, Jarrod, we wanna do 50 calls in this half hour.
Let's go.
Understand? Let's go out and do it. And that's how you build. That's how you build, because you wouldn't be focusing on getting the rejections. You just want to get those dials up.
Yep, and you understand it. So guys, that's just it from us this week. Thank you so much for everybody who's tuned in. Just want to shout everybody out, and we want to say have a fantastic Sunday.
Yep.
Look for more content during the week.
Peace, guys. Take care.